Hey, how's it going? Alex from BGS here. I'm a revenue optimization expert and I help e-commerce businesses grow and scale through optimize their stores. And in this training, we're going to be talking about the three things that you should never do on your category page. Oh, what are these things that I'm talking about? Well, I'm going to share my screen in a second and I'll show you what I mean. So this is the number one thing that you should never do on your product pages. I mean, category pages in this case is the product images should never be this small, okay? First of all, these don't even look like rugs. They look like stickers to me. They're so tiny. And second, they're not big enough to show any detail on the picture. I should be able, just by scrolling through these products, to be able to see enough detail so I don't need to necessarily click on the product page to see the bigger picture and then go back. Does that make sense? So that's the idea. And you can't see any detail on this image. It's terrible. This is a little bit bigger, but still this little container is ridiculously tiny. They could have made it like at least this big as this whole border, right? So this is something that you never want to do. Look at the difference compared to Wayfair. When we go here, look at the difference in these images. These images get me excited. I can already imagine this thing, how it's going to look in my new place. And for example, this one, it even has the same color of the floor. So I can already know how this is potentially going to look like in my place. Does that make sense? But these guys, this is terrible. You should never do that. And it's super boring. Like, what is this? You don't want to do this, okay? I don't want to keep hammering the same point home, but make your images as big as possible. So that doesn't mean you should have like 2 products per row, okay? Ideally, it can be 4, okay? There are 4 images here, 4 products per row, and it still looks decent, but if you have to, you can use 3. Don't use less than 3. And during testing, we find that when the images are bigger, click-through rates to product pages is significantly higher. And with that, obviously, the conversions are typically higher as well. So this is especially important for products like this with a lot of details, or wearable products like shoes, like apparel and stuff like that, okay? Products that typically have a lot of detail. So I recommend you go typically 3 products per row is good. That will make the images big enough so there's enough visible detail, okay? And same with this category. We're looking at some wall art too. Like, look at this. This is so terrible. It's not even exciting me. I don't know. It doesn't even look like art. It doesn't look like a big painting compared to this, right? Can you notice the difference? It's not even close, right? So that's my point. Number one, never use very small images on your category pages. And think about this. Most people don't pay much attention to category pages because almost everybody sends traffic to their product pages and all the hype is about product pages. But category pages are significantly important and very crucial. If you think about it, the whole reason a category page even exists is to help people narrow down their choice. That's all there is. It's a filtering mechanism, which leads me to the next point. You should never, ever use irrelevant filters for your products, okay? And you should, first of all, you should have filters, because without them, like, how am I supposed to scroll through all of these products? Okay, 2,842. Or if we go here, check this out, over 250,000 results. How am I supposed to even check a portion of these paintings out without any proper filters? Okay, so first of all, you should always have filters, and second, they need to be irrelevant and something that your customers care about. And here's an example. So I'm searching for, like, browsing for art for some paintings, and I want a landscape photo, right? And I'm trying to find that filter here, and all I can see is size, okay? And the size is not even something like this is very subjective. Like, what does small mean anyway? What's medium? There's no even actual dimensions, so I can conclude, okay, what size is this thing? But more still, there's no even filter for a shape. Like, how am I supposed to find the landscape shape of paintings here, right? Whereas if we go here to Wayfair, they definitely have it somewhere. There we go, shape and orientation. So rectangle, that's the word that I couldn't remember. So rectangle or landscape or panoramic, it's all the same. Now I can only see those types of photos, right? Obviously, some other shapes will show because not all of these product listings are perfect. Whoever was creating them, they might have made a mistake with the tagging or whatever, but that's besides the point. Majority of these product listings are landscape, right? Exactly what I'm looking for. Whereas here, it's nowhere to be seen. Plus, their sizes, where's the size? There we go, size and dimension. It tells me small, medium, and large, but it also actually shows the width of the image, which is very important, okay? So this is the second point, to offer filters that are relevant to your customers, that your customers care about. Always go through your website from thinking from the perspective of the customer, not as a business owner, because as a business owner, you've been through your site so many times, and just because you know how to find something, that doesn't mean that your customers know how to find it, okay? That's called the curse of knowledge, basically. So always think through the eyes of a customer. What is a customer thinking of? What features do they care about when they're trying to search for a product on your site? And that's typically the best criteria that you should use for a filter on your category pages. What are the top 3 to 5 features that this product, that my customers would care about this specific product? For example, the paintings. Is it size? Is it the shape? Is it the material? Or is it the type of colors that they're used? That will all depend on your audience. So you need to figure that out through surveys and all of that stuff, which we have a ton of other videos teaching that stuff. But anyway, I want to wrap this point up. Never show irrelevant filters for your customers, okay? And always show criteria, filters that your customers care about, okay? And number 3, okay, I'll go back here again. And I've spoken about this in a previous video. You can find it somewhere on our YouTube channel. It should be posted, I think. But anyway, it's about the product loading method. And this is the pagination method, which is something that you should never use. You should really stay away from. There are many reasons why, but a few that I'm going to mention is, first of all, it's the clickable area. It's very small. It's very easy to misclick to number 2. To number 2 if you wanted to click 3 or whatever, especially on mobile, where the tapping area is so small and it's very easy to mistap something, even if you don't have butterfingers, okay? So that's number 1 reason. Number 2, it's very annoying to be constantly going from page to page, and it's very hard to compare different products from, let's say, the second and the first page without having to go through pages back and forth, okay? And instead, what you want to use is something that IKEA has, and that's the load more method, or see more in this case. When you get to the bottom of this quote-unquote page, you just click see more, and the rest of the products load. And now if I want to quickly compare this product with the one that was in the previous page, I can just scroll up without having to go and click and wait for another page to load and all of that stuff, okay? So never use pagination on your category pages, or infinite scroll for that matter. That's even worse. Only use load more method, okay? And again, as I said, there's another video that I talked about this topic in depth, so there's no need to go and repeat all of that. Okay, so let's recap real quick. What do we know so far? Number 1, you should never use very tiny images on your category pages. Use big images to capture people's attentions and show enough detail so they don't have to click through every product listing to see their images. Typically 3 products per row works the best in most cases. Okay. Number two, don't use irrelevant filters, and better yet, make sure that you do have filters, but also make sure that there are filters with things that your customers care about. Go through your website from the mindset of the customer and ask yourself, what features and criteria do my customers care about when shopping for my product? And number three, never use pagination as a loading method on your category page. Instead, use the load more methodology. And if you go to asos.com, I think they had very, very solid implementation of the load more method. Okay, so that's it for this video. If you like this video, stay tuned because there's a lot more coming. Like if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe because we post video almost every day now. And if you have any questions or ideas for a future video, just drop them in the comments below and we'll get back at them and maybe even shoot a video on that topic that you suggested. And if you want our help, just go to workwithbgs.com and just to fill out a small application. It's a free strategy call, so you have nothing to lose. And we'll see where you're at, where you need to go, and we'll give you a plan of attack and all of that stuff. Okay, that's workwithbgs.com. Until next time, have a good one, and I'll see you soon. Bye.